we're going to get into our first presenters. The first one is Jodi Suchoplas, sorry, my apologies. And together with her dad, they run about 340 pairs of cows at Durban, Manitoba. So Jodi is happily married with 4 children, which I imagine keeps her quite busy. And she enjoys the country lifestyle of working outdoors alongside animals with her family. They calve generally in late April to try and avoid some of the spring storms, hopefully more successfully in most years than others, but as we know, Manitoba can be unpredictable. And they've been banding their cows for about 10 years now as newborns. They're handled quickly and gently and sent back to their mothers so they both have low stress. Jodi herself is passionate about teaching other producers techniques of castrating calves with an elastrator to eliminate mistakes, reduce vet bills, or market losses. And I will hand it over to her.
Thank you everyone for joining me today. I'm really excited to go over everything with everyone, and if you've ever struggled with any situation with banding calves, I hope I can answer your questions. So this is a picture of our replacement heifers, and kind of wishing we were back in the summer after these last few cold days. Some of the things I'm going to go over are the different types of banders, banding techniques, band removal, video demonstrations, what to avoid when banding, and market losses. The first bander we have is the economy bander. It's just your common blue bander. I feel like most producers use this bander. Super easy to operate. You can handle it with one hand. It is the cheapest. The bands are the cheapest. I do recommend that you get new bands every year, because if the bands dry out, then they crack, and then that calf won't be banded correctly. They're going to break off. And they can also be used on sheep and goats. Second, we have the premium bander. I don't have it here with me, but it's very similar to the economy bander. It's a little bit better quality, and the opening on that one is slightly larger than the blue economy bander, so making it a little bit more efficient on those calves that just need a little bit more spacing. Third, we have the tri-bander. This is my personal favorite bander. It's a little bit harder to open. You have to use both hands to open it, but the space again is even that little bit bigger. The elastics that go with it, they're way more durable. One major pointer that I have from personal experience is when you put that band on, always be cautious and open it facing down, because sometimes these top prongs, especially if you've used it for a while, they like to flex, and sometimes they'll shoot a band off, and we never intentionally want to lose a band. Always keep a couple extras in your pocket. Next bander we have, this is the XL bander. This is the largest bander that we use on the farm. This is for your calves that have to be left longer. You know, maybe that one testicle just didn't want to drop yet, so they have to be banded in the chute. This guy, he's really heavy duty, even opens to a bigger spacing, 4 inches by 3 by 3. And these prongs are all metal, they don't flex. We've never had a problem with the band slipping off, and it's easy to apply it up underneath them, release it, and slip it off. No problem. This is ideal for those bigger calves. And always remember, whatever bander you choose, that you always get the bands that are recommended for it. Don't try using the smaller green Cheerios on a bander that it doesn't belong with, because they will not work. They will not be able to be stretched wide enough. Next, I wanted to show the correct band placement. Only band if you have both testes in the scrotum. The band should be released on the neck of the scrotum, and do not catch the teats in the band. This is very, very important, because lots of times, especially if you're banding a calf that's standing, you could gather those testicles down and slip it up, and you might not be able to see correctly, and you release it, and then it catches one, which then becomes an open wound, and then it can run into infection. So just always be very cautious of that, and if you notice it, remove that band, and start over. Next, I'm going to go over how to band a calf laying down. This on our farm is personally the style that we always use. I restrain all the calves myself, so I need to know that I can hold it in place, still not have it kicking and thrashing around. Let's see if I can get my video to play here. So I like to tuck the top leg underneath my leg, and then once you gather both testicles down, open the bander, slip it over. If you pinch in between the testicles, it helps push them down lower so that they stay in place, so that that band never gets released kind of mid on the testicles or too low. And I can never stress enough to like double check. Everybody always checks before the band is released, but also always check after the band is released. It just takes seconds, but it saves us so much hassle. And if you have a calf where it's holding that one testicle up, that is caused because the muscle is tighter on that side. You have to massage and kind of really work that down, hold tension behind it to keep it brought down. Lots of times you're going to need somebody with you to help you hold it in place, because once we open that bander and try to feed it up over, they just want to slip back on us. And if we catch it, it's okay. We can cut the band off and start over. But if we don't catch it, then it becomes a belly nut. They have to be removed by a scalpel. And if you still didn't notice it and you send them to market, then they're going to get put in those bullpens, and then you're going to be losing lots of money. So always be cautious of that. Next, we have another video of me showing banding out in the field. And I always have my dad with me or my husband. I know some of you maybe don't have help to have somebody with you, but it's always best to have somebody with you. And one main thing, always keep good records if you're not able to band that calf, because you're gonna have to go back later to do it. Some of them that we cannot bring down at newborn, we can bring down at a later date, maybe at a month old or a couple months old. Myself, I just directly write bull right on the tag so I don't forget. Later on, I just cut that tag off when he's castrated correctly and put a new tag on that doesn't say bull. Next, this is TestiGrip. This is my own product that I've invented. I came up with this because of the struggle I was talking about in the last slide, where that testicle just really wants to stay retained. It doesn't want to come down, and you're fighting with it over and over again, trying to keep it held down. With TestiGrip, once you gather the testicles down, you can see over here, and slip it on, then they're caught. That calf can't suck them back up. If he's kicking around, it doesn't matter. They're held in place. Then you can apply your band as normal, and as soon as you're done, you just slip it off, put it in your pocket, and move on to the next calf. For us, on our operation, this has saved us so much hassle and so much time. And my dad doesn't have to get down with me, or my husband doesn't have to get down with me. And my hands are free. If I need to correct the calf, or if I need to grab my sorting stick to keep that protective mother away from me, I have that safety. Here's a video showing me using it. So it's just that simple. Just slip them on, feed it through. I'm using the tri-bander there. Pop it off. And you'll see I kind of like go like this after I apply the band. That's just me feeling to make sure, yeah, they're both there. Otherwise, I'm definitely removing that and moving on to the next calf. Or removing it and restarting over again. Banding a calf standing. Ourselves, the only calves that get banded standing are the older calves, the ones that we couldn't band because that testicle was retained, or they're just later calves that we had to wait on because we were hauling out to pasture or we're fencing, or we're just busy and they got left. So then we band them standing. We like to use a chute system, and always make sure when they're in the chute to restrain the calf correctly. bend that tail straight over its back very tightly, then you can't get kicked. There's nothing worse than somebody cranking the tail off to the side and it does absolutely nothing, and then the poor person on the ground gets kicked in the face. This sometimes, as well as laying down, sometimes the testicles want to be way up here in the body, so you can fight for a while trying to bring them down. A producer actually at a show last year taught me, I love talking, always talk to other producers, they always give you tips, that if you're struggling to keep both of them down, if you just bring one down, then close your bander, then push pressure on top of that other one that doesn't want to come down and open it, then you can pop that second one down, because lots of times you can't bring both of them down at the same time, but if you can close it over the one that you already got caught, then you're able to push pressure above the other one and bring it down. And always be aware of the size of calf you're using, because you have to keep going up a size with the banders. As they keep getting bigger, you got to use a bigger bander and a bigger rings. This calf is being banded with the XL bander, so that's the biggest bander. So this calf is probably over 300 pounds already. Here, this is going to be a video showing my husband's restraining the calf, and then my dad is doing the banding. This year, he decided that I should also be doing the banding in the chute as well as out in the open, but since I had to take the video, he had to do the job. So see how that tail's just cranked right over the back. Wait a second, we'll move over. You just have to keep stretching them and feeling up higher up by the body until you can pull them down. They don't, some of them are nice and they're just dropped down already and they're easy to slip the band over. And others, you got to fight with them a few times, keep gathering and massaging them until you get them down. It's just that easy. And always be cautious too. Sometimes those banders, the rings can get hung up on them a little bit. The XL doesn't seem to be a problem, but some of the smaller banders, sometimes the ring will stay hung up on the prongs, and I always push the ring off, because sometimes when you just try to kind of yank it off, sometimes it slips that ring down a little bit lower than you want it, and you don't want that ring to be placed, say, on middle of the testicles, because then you get an open wound, and then you have a trip to the vet, because you're going to have infection, and it's very, very dangerous. And another point that I have on here is that some bull calves cannot be banded at all. That testicle is just never going to come down. Those guys, they have to be removed with a scalpel. I recommend going to the vets. I talked with a vet over the weekend, and I kind of wanted some information. Why is this happening? We have 1 to 2 calves a year that this happens with, and it's frustrating. We want to band them, and we can't do it ourselves. And he says sometimes it's hereditary, sometimes it's the age, like some of the younger ones we can wait and do later, and other ones it just happens. So best always to cut them. And he also told me to never ever just band that one testicle. If there's just one testicle down, do never ever band that one, because then the vet is going to have a way harder time removing that second one. So just always remember, if you can't get both, just leave it. And here's a video of me showing how to remove a band, because it's going to happen. A band's going to get applied incorrectly, and you're going to need to remove it. So I always have a knife with me. Try to restrain that calf as still as possible for any practices, tagging, castrating, whatever you're doing. The more still you can hold them, the better control you have. So you'll see here you have to use barely any tension at all, and that band will come off no problem. So don't be pushing too hard. You do not want to cut that calf. So just very, very gently cut it, and then go right back into rebanding the calf. Lastly, these are the market losses. This is a big problem for anybody that thinks, oh, it doesn't matter. The bulls, they got good muscle tone, they're growing good. We'll just send them to the market, they won't notice. Or, oh, that guy, he's got a belly nut, they won't catch them at the market. they'll put them in with the steers. They catch everything, and if they don't catch it, they're in trouble. You can see I did a market report from Heartland Livestock Yorkton. That's where we sell all of our cattle through. I did comparisons from the steer pens that our steers get put in, and then I tried to find as close as I could the bulls that are that similar weight. So you can see on here that the smaller guys, it's not quite as big of a spread, you know, from the steers to the bulls, but you're still, you know, losing money. And then as they get bigger and bigger and bigger up into the 600 pounds, well, now you're losing almost $400. Some guys are losing $500, and that's per animal, just for a job that could have easily been done within seconds. So I always promote to everybody, don't skip out on castrating. It is important. You know, we can control unwanted pregnancies, aggression, and then the ideal thing is just we're getting put into better pens. They don't want to see those rugged bulls or the guys that have a belly nut and they're kind of scruffy looking with more hair underneath them. They're always going to notice them. Now, I would like to get somebody to come down to band a calf with me. Is there anybody who has no experience, has never banded before? You want to come down? Come on. This is my calf Shorty. My mom helped me out with him. We're going to say he's a newborn twin. That's why he's short. I'm Jodi. Nice to meet you. Do you have cattle at home? You do not. Okay. So we're going to pretend that we're going to lay him down. So ideally, if he was bigger, you'd pop this leg up and you'd have your knee over him. But we're going to lay him right down. Now I want you to feel if you can feel those testicles. You can, okay. You can bring them up there, okay. Now what size of bander do you think would be the right? We're going to say maybe he's 60 pounds. What do you think would work the best on him? Small one? Yeah, that's right. Okay. Now I'm just going to get you to put this band on here. And it just slips right through to where those grooves are. Yeah, just a little bit down. Perfect. Okay, now I'm just going to let you practice opening it. You just squeeze it with one hand. It has to go right out as open as it can. Yeah, exactly. And then it's going to get applied this way with the prongs down towards it. Okay, you want to hold that. You got both. Okay, now open it. Yeah, now you have to move your hand out of the way. You know that you can get both. Yeah, push them through, gather them up. Yeah, and then tuck them up, pull them up. Yeah, you hold on to them. Yeah, let go. Perfect. And then, oh, did one slip back? That's okay. We still got it. Okay, now just let this expand. Yeah. And then we just pop it off like this. Yeah. And then you just feel again that they're both in place. And then you did it. You banded your first calf. Thank you. Is there anyone else that has never banded a calf before that was willing to come down and try it out? It's so shy. Come on, Chris. I'm going to get you to come over. So I didn't bring a knife in here because I didn't know if I was allowed, so I brought scissors. So I'm just going to go ahead and gently remove this band. Okay. I'm going to push that testicle back up in there because, pardon me? Oh, yeah, you can go right ahead. So we're going to pretend now that this calf has a retained testicle that's hard to bring down and that muscle's too tight. So we're going to try to use the TestiGrip on this one. So what bander would you like to try? You want to try the same one? Okay. Okay. Apply this. Yeah, kind of right where those grooves are. Perfect. Now, you can set the bander down once you get that on. Now I want you to gather both testicles till you have them down into the scrotum. You got to kind of feel, see how that one's kind of hidden in there? Yeah, perfect, bring it down. Now I want you to take this and just slide it on the neck so that they're caught in there. Now see how they can't move? Okay, now go ahead, you can open that, prongs facing down. It's not as easy as it looks, is it? I know. And this guy's not even kicking you. Perfect. Yeah, and then you just release it, and then you can pop this down. There, and you just slip that off, and yeah, you got both of them. Yeah, you did a great job. Thank you. Thank you, guys. 10 minutes, okay. Has there been anyone that's had any difficulty using banders or, how could I say it, not knowing which one goes with what calf? Just always remember, if you don't want to look it up on your phone, if you're just unsure and you're looking at all your banders, you're like, I don't know which one I need. Just always think the smaller openings are always for the younger calves, kind of common sense, and then as they get bigger, just bigger bander, bigger calf. We don't like to band anything over 500 pounds. I know it happens for some people, and it is what it is, but that's about the biggest we like to do, and those are just those really stubborn ones. I'm open to questions if anybody has any questions on anything, or if anybody would like to just come down here and see the banders, you're welcome to come on down. Is there anything that I missed that you'd like me to go over, or maybe I covered everything? Seems too easy. Yes? Oh, right. So I like to promote it similar to what vet clinics recommend, like the newborn to 2 weeks. It can fit up a bit bigger, about to a month, but then what happens is it starts getting too tight to slide on to the calf. So really, it's those little guys that are the most difficult. Like we run Angus and Semitals, and some of those calves are pretty tiny when they're born, and their testicles are really, really small, and they're not like Shorty. They're wet and slippery, so yeah, that's ideal for it. Once you gather them, you slip it on, and then they can't feed back through. But yeah, we try to go very similar to what the vets recommend, that newborn to 2 weeks. I did some research, and because some people don't want to band so young. They want to band older. They think they get more growth out of them. And the sooner you can band them, there's less blood supply down to the testicles. Therefore, that area is going to dry up and heal faster. So it's just easier on the calf if they're done at a younger age. Usually takes 2 to 3 weeks for them to heal when they're young. Whereas when you wait longer, it can take a month or longer. And then those big guys can take even longer than that. And if you're banding bigger calves in the summer, sometimes they can almost get an infection or flies. Like, it's just a bigger surface area that has to shrink down and heal. So always try to band those newborns or the younger calves, and then you won't come into that problem. Yes? Like from the elastics? Yes. Yeah, it cuts the blood supply off and they dry up and then they come off. So, and I mean, the buyers like it when they heal. It's a nice, smooth, clean look, and they sell very well. Is there any other questions from anyone? Yes? I haven't yet, but I'd like to. Those are the ones that are being used on the sheep, right? Okay. I should look into that. I'm always open to other things. Are those just for the economy bander then, the small bander? Yeah, okay. Well, that's good to know. And you're doing yours like right at newborn as well? Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, no, I'm always open to anything that's going to help with pain, or like any tips from any farmers. I feel like everybody has their own way of doing it and what works, but you always have to have conversations with other people, see how they're operating, because it might be just the simplest thing, but then it just makes your life so much easier. So always talk amongst each other. Is there any other questions, or anyone else that would like to try to band a calf? Let's see if I can see. Is there anything new? No? Good.
Oh, okay. Well, let's give a round of applause to Jodi and thank her for her time.
Thank you.